down. Another Friday is here, and the legendary Knights of the Nerd-O-Roundtable are here to make it clear. Shit is amazing this week. Oh my God. Lord Jesus, we have had some nerd times this week.
Wow.
On the round table, as always, Thomas Talking Cunningham. What it is, good sir?
Nerd-Alleluia.
Dr. Liz from the freeway.
Hello, everyone.
I see Ryan Twitch Master McBain.
Thank you.
Nerdalicious, baby.
Anthony from Two Cubicles Down.
Hello, everybody.
Last but never least, Mo motherfucking O'Kelly. You better say that loud. They did it for you, brother. They did it for you.
I feel like the nerds have been denied Mo's dance. He gave us a Whose House dance.
Yeah, we're good.
Oh, wait, what?
Oh, yeah, that intro was usually like 2 minutes long.
Yeah,
we
we can still
you
do it.
have to do the dance.
No.
Whoa, this is your time.
Whose house? Whose house? My team, my house. This is whose team?
Oh Lord, he about to kick his microphone.
got the smartest head.
Oh, he's doing it. To the viewers,
He's doing it.
you can Google Mo, and you can see him hop.
Yes, and now it's on the Nerdorama YouTube page, which you should like and subscribe.
Push the button.
And big shout out, we want to shout out Richard Garrison, possibly the most loyal fan who comes into the feed 30, 40 minutes early just to wait. So we thank you, Richard Garrison. Woo woo! Thank you so much for being a superstar, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Take it away, Twala.
This week I am happy to say that I have seen the first 5 minutes of Ozark. Here's how it went down. Bo Kelly said, T, are you going to catch Ozark before the show? I said, you know what? Yeah, I'm sitting here outside of my daughter's dance class. I'll go in and pop it on while I'm waiting, but I have my son in the car with me. But I'm thinking, it's Jason Bateman. This is probably just dark comedy. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. That's what I'm thinking. So I have it on my phone and I don't have headphones and I'm playing it. And within the first 5 minutes, I said, okay, I cannot watch this in the car with my son because they're talking about some really filthy shit. And so I said, wow, this is a lot different than I thought. Yeah. Super intrigued, though. Just the first 5 minutes, him walking around that office and talking about his marriage and woo, Lord. I said, this show is something else. Already, I see why y'all have been on this show. I'm like, so that's what we're doing. I didn't know that. So
did you literally stop after 5 minutes?
I did. After his coworker was like, look, Gina, whatever, she gives it to me long and strong and me, sucking dick through a bowling ball or whatever he was about to say. I was like, I've got to turn this up. This is not content I can
You're
watch.
not ready for that conversation.
No. We've had worse, but I'm trying to shy away from it for right now. I'm like, I think I've tampered it down. I don't want to put it back on the top of his mind. So
Daddy,
I said,
what
no,
does that mean?
we're gonna come back.
Well, when you're 15, I don't think it's daddy. I think it's daddy.
It's like,
if it were my son, it'd be.
Dad, what are we talking about?
His son, his voice is through the floor.
Yeah, Thomas Cunningham V makes Barry White look like a castrati. The boy's voice is deep. It's deep.
Look, I'm looking forward to this though. I see just where it starts off. I see why you all have been on this. This is right down my lane.
Get to the first episode. It'll tell you everything you need to know.
And you know what's funny, Mo? When I started to watch season 4, just coming back, it didn't actually put me at season 4. It put me back at season 1. And I was like, wow, why are they having this argument again? And I was like, this is how dysfunctional the relationship is. It's never good. Like, you think that you're going to have a situation where, like, they start off one way and then a circumstance happens. They are fucked up from moment one. The first time you see those two characters on screen, they hate each other so passionately.
Wow.
And Twal, I'm not going to give away anything, but there's no levity ever.
No.
There's no moment to rest ever.
Okay.
You think they get over one thing and then they'll have smooth sailing for an episode? No.
I'm stressed.
And it's emotionally draining, but in a good way, because each episode is consequential.
And it's stressful.
Okay.
I was like,
Yes, it
my
is.
Lord, I can't live a life of crime. I cannot be that stressed.
I really thought I was going to get, like a dark, twisted comedy, where hapless, go lucky, blue collar family gets mixed up into drugs and they're trying to escape. I'm thinking that's what we're doing here.
No.
No. Okay. No.
Oh, shout
It
out
doesn't
to
seem
Tom
like that at all.
Reedy. Shout
Yeah,
out to Tom
Tom-
Reedy in the chat. Thank you, Tom.
Is it ready?
I thought Reedy? Ready. We need a pronouncer.
That looks like ready, because that's how you spell ready.
Yes, thank you, Twala.
Tom ready. You stay ready. You ain't got to get Tom ready.
But if he says Reedy, I want to.
Yeah, he wants a no prize. You get a no prize if he comes back and says, no, it's Reedy.
That's righty. Yeah.
It's Rayadi. It's Rayadi.
Did anybody start raising Dion? I saw the first episode.
I saw the whole. Thank you very much.
Already?
It's Tom Reedy, and I saw the whole Raising Dion second season today. Today,
How is it?
I think you're pronouncing your name wrong, Tom, but we're gonna let it go.
I'm mad to pronounce his name. Okay.
So go ahead.
it was good. It was good. I think it was perfect for young people. It was entertaining. They had more of a budget for this season, so they did a little bit more with the special effects. The storyline got darker. It was a little bit more serious, and they did more, but I wanted more. I think it was one episode less than the first season. That was one thing that I didn't particularly care for, but it's not a big secret. They left it open for season 3, but they are showing a progression with Dion, and they're allowing him to actually grow up before our eyes, and he's taking on more responsibility. There are more powers involved. There are more powered people. I enjoyed it, for what it was.
I really love the fact that they have this little girl who is so witty, who has a disability, and it doesn't it incorporates who she is, and it's just like she's such a cute little girl. And I just appreciate that aspect of the show too.
I think season 3 of Raising Dion is going to have Naomi as his au pair.
Oh man,
Because
I don't think so.
that
From what I'm
show
hearing,
won't make
I
it.
don't think so.
It won't make it through a season. So.
I
We'll
did.
make it to episode 3.
I did watch. Well, no.
What's
it's
at
on
4
episode
now?
4. It's on
I think
4.
it's-
I saw part
But
of
if nobody
4.
watches it,
Right.
Well, from my
Yeah, did-
understanding, it has not been greenlit for another season. That's what I'm hearing. But they say that's more because of the pending sale, and so the CW doesn't want to invest in any more shows financially. But whoever picks up the CW or their content, they may be like, "Oh, Naomi didn't make it."
Yeah, but
So-
what bothers me more is that it is granted, I know that this is a more newly developed character in the comics, so it's like you don't have that much to go on, but the extra that they're adding into it is like, ugh. I know I said that last week I wasn't going to keep watching, but I did flicker over and I was like, you guys are now just moving away from the comic book, which is fine, but not in a good way.
Okay, look, so all that is fine. This week, really and truly, what is most prescient on the round table is the fact that we have been treated to quite possibly the greatest live action Star Wars moment since Luke Skywalker's appearance in the season finale of Mandalorian season 2.
Yes.
What we witnessed was so phenomenal with episode 6 of the brochure of Old Buffett that it may not thank you. It may not correct the horror that
It doesn't.
were the first
Nope.
4 episodes
It
of
doesn't.
that show. Nothing will ever fix that. You can't be like, oh, well, now
Mhm.
that makes sense. No, it's still bad. Episode 5 was like, oh shit, and we all, collectively thought, well, that's gonna be it, and they're gonna go back to some whackness with Boba Fett. And then you get to episode 6, and it's so apparent that Rian Johnson has no business doing anything with Star Wars, much less anything in film. Him nor Abrams. I'm sorry. With this one episode, we were shown every single thing that we should have seen with a subsequent, sequel to the Star Wars franchise. Imagine if they would have started here and shown us what we wanted to see. Luke being a fucking Jedi master in every way.
In
The
his prime.
building of the new new Jedi temple, and then you incorporate another legacy with the Mandalorian into that. Yo, we would have been absolutely fried, died, laid to the side. McBain, I know you once again were shooting this into your veins, good sir. How was
yes.
the high?
Okay, before I start, I'll say this. This show is like this episode, I'm sorry, not the show. Ain't the show, baby. This episode is like an aphrodisiac. It ain't even heroin. All right. I don't need no Jodeci, no lighting candles. Play this episode. That's all I need, baby. Now, the first 4 episodes of this shit fest, all it did was make me hate Boba Fett. And I think it's hilarious that these, like, the best content of this whole series doesn't have Boba Fett in it. Barely. Or doesn't say anything. Last episode, he just stood there and did nothing. All right, don't say anything because your character's ruined. I loved everything about this episode. It finally gave me what I wanted to see. And it's kind of funny. Imagine that. When you finally give the diehard fans what they want, you have a hit on your hands. Everything from Ahsoka interacting with Luke Skywalker. She knew Luke's father. She was trained by him. It's great. Luke training Grogu. And then at the end, when that dark figure's walking in the desert, I was like, yo, I know who that be. I know who that is. And he didn't even say his fucking name. And,
Nope.
and I love about the entrance of Cad Bane is this. All you fringe Star Wars fans, you know who you are. You're the people that think The Last Jedi is a good movie. You're all a bunch of fucking idiots. Kill yourself. But I digress. It was magical because he fucking not only kills that little scrub, but he also kills Cobb Vanth, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
We don't know he's dead.
Character.
Well, we don't know
We
he's
don't know
dead,
he's
but
dead.
he definitely caught one. He definitely
He
caught a
caught
hot
one.
He caught, yeah.
And then everyone's like, oh, I don't know
The
who this
deputy
guy
caught
is,
a
but he's a
few.
badass. Cad
Look.
Bane, motherfucker, all right? And then
Cad Bane's introduction is what we should have been seeing from this series from
Mhm.
jump. When you think Boba Fett, you think ruthless, diehard mercenary
Yes.
killers. He
Shoot
steps on the
first.
scene, and it's like death is
Keep
coming
shooting.
with him.
people that don't know, like Cad Bane knew Boba Fett when he was just a kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
And then if it doesn't get even more it gets even more gangster than that. The final scene, I guess, when they blow up that bar with the bomb. That's directly from the movie The Untouchables. When they blow up that bomb and leave, whatever they leave, they drop the bomb and take off. I was like, dude, this is the gangster shit that I've been waiting for.
Well, there's so many themes in this film with Luke and Grogu in the bamboo trees from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. You get the Quick and the Dead or Young and whatever the Western film you want with Cab and Cad Bane and what's his name, Timothy Olyphant, who looks skinny as shit in that film too.
Yeah, he looked unhealthy.
He looked unhealthy.
Yeah, he's supposed
But are you just all the imagery we have of this with
Should have kept his armor.
yeah, should have kept his armor.
That's a threat.
It's serious. The
Oh my
the
God.
opening sequence with the Spice and the Pikes doing their little drug deal right there and
Hey,
everything.
that was
just,
one of the best lines. The opening scene when they were about to draw, he said, think it through. Oh man,
Yeah.
think it through had me shook. I was like, "Ooh, damn!" That made me stop
Everybody-
for a second.
everybody's gangster in this episode, except for the gangster Boba
Boba.
Fett.
But you know what, Anthony, you make a great point. The way they set it up, in other words, Timothy Olyphant's character, they showed him this is a bad dude. So when he catches a hot one later, you know, Cad Bane shot a bad dude. And to think that this is supposed to be the book of Boba Fett, and he has absolutely nothing to do, to Ryan's point, with these last 2 episodes. What I most loved about it was an homage to Empire Strikes Back, the whole training montage. We got to see Luke Skywalker in his prime as a Jedi master, which we were robbed of in the new trilogy. It's giving us all the things that we've wanted to see but couldn't see, but also weaving in the animated properties and making them solidly part they're going to do in the future.
Order
I don't
66.
know if they could have done a better Cad Bane.
That too.
In live action.
We got to see Order 66 and the 501st doing their nasty on that day. And those Jedis fell, and Grogu's had, shit experience in that. You got to see that through his eyes.
Yeah. The Order 66 flashback was shocking. When it was happening, I was like, I can't believe we're actually seeing the slaughter of the jet, live action. They showed it in the animated series, but to see it live action, that was shocking. So much dopeness throughout this episode. It was really, really unbelievable. I mean, some of the dopest lines, like, Ahsoka looking at Luke and saying, "You're so much like your father." Like, this shit gave me chills. I was like, are you making those connections? Star Wars doesn't do that. That's some Marvel stuff. Cunningham, what were your thoughts on this episode?
Well, okay, I need to pose a question because you kind of alluded to it, but I'm wondering if this turn in the series is a redemptive turn, or are you all fearful that with Robert Rodriguez helming the final episode that it's going to slide back? Because I think you think, I mean, because
you can't top that. You can't top this episode.
Well, it's not a matter of topping it. I think the question is, you've now escalated, and I don't know if to categorize the first 4 episodes as a feint, because as Ryan has pointed out, the book of Boba Fett in the 2 episodes that everybody's responding to are almost Boba free.
Yes.
And so you can't, it's really getting back to what, again, I have to go back to the well. This is my initial take. This should have been Mandalorian season 3, featuring Boba Fett as a major supporting character on equal standing with Mando. Like, you lost Gina Carano's character, so the person you introduced to expand the mythology, to get more back into, the armors and the helmets and the ways and all of that stuff, but to make up for the absence of Grogu, you bring in Boba Fett so that it stays in a continuity that everybody can respond to. Everybody loves Mandalorian. Both seasons, you ended the second season with, well, actually more than one moment, because you ended both with Luke and the Darksaber. So to me, if you had said, because when they first said Book of Boba Fett, I literally was like, oh, okay, because they do the Mandalorian kind of like in chapters. I was like, oh, okay, so this is the chapter where we introduce the original Mandalorian badass.
Right. Okay.
And they went a different way and tried to make it its own standalone thing. And it's like, almost from jump, how could you imagine this would be something that would get a sequel? It wasn't Loki, where everybody's like, yes, okay, I understand why Loki has to have a sequel. It was just, I don't understand what this show is. This is not Boba Fett. I mean, for Tuala, for you to still call this the pamphlet of Boba Fett after the penultimate episode that literally had Ryan almost in rehab, it just says how much of a misfire this attempt at expanding the mythology was. This is a solo misstep. This is, it's, and you have this now second to last episode, and it's like, nobody expects it to be topped. But is there a way to not throw away all of the goodwill that you've earned in these last 2 episodes and end on a high note, so that people can say, I now understand that Mandalorian season 3 is actually going to incorporate Boba Fett in the way that it should have actually already been season 3, so that you get some sort of payoff that people can respond to?
I hope not.
I mean,
you hope not? You hope that it's a shitty episode?
No. I hope that they've done such a good job at to Ryan's initial point, making me dislike Boba Fett. I'm like, go on and get rid of him so we can get back to the Mandalorian. It's obvious the Mandalorian works. Boba Fett doesn't. I don't need more. I'm not invested in another season or more of Boba Fett's story. I'm done with him. I still think Ming-Na Wen is tripping by saying, wait till you get to the end, you're going to love it. I'm like, sis, if Robert Rodriguez is helming the end of this and it's Boba Fett centric, no, this is not going to be good unless you're telling me that you've got the final episodes co-directed by Bryce Dallas Howard and Dave Filoni with Favreau on the writing along with the whole team, and we're just done with Boba Fett, and the last thing he's just going to give out orders and sit on the throne and watch it happen. Cool. But if we're going back to Boba Fett, then we're going back to the shit. I finished plunging the toilet. I got it to go down. I don't need the shit to come back up.
Well, Kane Red Wolf appears to agree with you because it's another decent episode of Boba. Next! This is the way. I think, what if this Boba is actually a leftover clone and not the real Boba, and in episode 7, we actually get real Boba?
No,
That's just ridiculous.
you know what? No,
I have a question.
I'm trying. You guys are the
Right,
super
that
fans.
was
This ain't even
correct.
my shit.
But haven't we been paying attention to Disney? The penultimate episode is always the best episode. So there's no reason to believe that this is going to be different in that regard. And there's definitely no evidence to support that Robert Rodriguez is going to pull a rabbit out of his ass and make this a great episode, given what he's given us so far. You know, no tremendous disrespect to him, but this is obviously not his thing. You know,
No.
I don't need.
No.
I don't.
Dedicated.
Yeah.
Where's
and
the
this is-
guitar? Let's get Antonio Banderas bringing a space
Look, you know
guitar
what?
into it at the
because
end to
you
shoot
have
everybody up.
what's his name in there. Why not? I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happens next, and I would be like, yeah, Robert Rodriguez.
My main
Sure.
question is, who is Cad Bane going to confront? Is it going to be Boba
Right.
Fett or is it going to
Or
be
Man-
Mandalorian? It makes more sense to be Boba Fett. The only problem is we don't give a fuck about Boba Fett.
And we know he's going to get his ass kicked.
Yeah,
That-
he's old.
It's already been shown on screen that he can't.
Oh yeah,
fight.
he cannot. He
He can't
cannot
do
fight.
anything. And Cad Bane is going to just bum rush that motherfucker straight up.
He must be about 90 years old.
I mean, I do like what Cad Bane had to say. I mean, when he was talking to Vanth, and he was like, Boba Fett is a hardcore murderous son of a
Yeah, when I
bitch or
heard
whatever. I was
that-
like, that's what we thought.
Yeah,
we
that's
thought
what
that. I'm
we
like,
were
Cad,
told.
you
Which
must not have
Boba
checked
Fett
in
are
on
they
your
talking
home.
about?
What he should
Yeah,
have
I'm
said was
like,
this.
ooh.
He should have said,
He meant
what,
Boba
you, must,
Fett.
you must not have been watching the show because no.
Yeah,
Not have been watching.
Can you
have you seen
imagine
episode
He
if
one?
has not killed not one
Nobody.
person in this whole
Can-
season.
can you imagine if Bane delivered the lines like Tom Hardy delivered Bane's lines?
Oh, I was waiting.
He
for
was
that.
a great motherfucker.
He fights like an
He
old
fights
man.
like an old man.
Follow him.
I want more
Oh,
Cad
no.
Bane. My only fear is they're going to kill him off, but like I need more
No.
Cad Bane in my
No, I
life.
don't
They're
think so.
not gonna kill
I
Cad
think he's
Bane
going to be
off.
here for a while.
Just
Yeah.
everything
Carry over
about
to some
him
other
keeping his head down, him asking what his name is, and he raises his head, and Cobb Vanth is like, "Oh fuck!"
And he never says his name. He
No.
never
Well,
says his
yeah.
Never says his name.
Where is Ahsoka's series in this timeline of stuff?
I think after.
It's after
Supposed-
Boba?
After, yeah, because she's going off looking for Ezra, if I'm not mistaken.
for Ezra
Yes.
and
Oh, right.
Amazon Is where
And,
they're supposed to
my
go.
wish is that it deals with time travel, so it can totally
Yep.
erase the sequel trilogy. That's my dream.
That's what I was talking about in our chat. Is they need to bring in live action actors for these people. Leia's still alive, Han's still alive, Luke is still alive. Bring in the live actors and let's slowly start diverting this story away from 7, 8, and 9. And,
You can. Yeah.
yeah,
You can.
and just do
Yeah.
our own.
20
Kathy
years in between.
doesn't feel like the magic that was Luke Skywalker's recreation can be done for Leia. I don't know why. I think there's plenty of reference images of her, and they already had the whatever models they had for the end of Rogue One.
Yeah.
If they could gussy them up with the same intensity that they did with this new new
Deep fake.
Skywalker.
It's 10 years later. The technology's even
No, I know, and I mean, I thought they did a brilliant job with Grand Moff Tarkin, actually, but I mean that's
Yeah.
because he looked like
Death
unwashed
already?
great
Yeah, he
foolishness
already
already,
had
so
one
it
foot
wasn't
in.
that much of a reach. But I think you probably could, with the same level of technology that they're doing now, I think you probably could do a credible job. And I know that, there is a difference when Mark Hamill is actually still alive to versus trying to recreate Carrie. But I think it would be a nice coda to actually tell more of these character stories in a way that was relatable.
Well, some of Leia's scenes when she was younger was played by her daughter, so they could do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say do
Skywalker,
live
Rise
action,
of Skywalker, yeah.
recast, or
I
not
think
really recast, but like remake the character, bring in some live action actors, and continue on this damn story. It's perfect.
I wouldn't be mad even if they were to take Homeboy that they had in the Solo movie and just say like, hey,
Yeah.
we're going to bring you in and we'll let you continue this under our
Continuity.
guidance
Yes.
and just
He
going
looks
to do that.
nothing like
You
how
can use.
it looks nothing like Han
doesn't-
Solo did like in that time period.
no,
No, I
but
mean
you-
I get that.
Well,
Just if
he's
you
saying
rough
Ryan's
him
saying
up.
he's a lot younger than
Yes.
than what Harrison Ford ended up at the end of Return of the Jedi. So it would you'd have to do.
De-age the fuck out of Harrison Ford and put his ass in there.
Harrison Ford moves worse than Boba Fett does, bro.
I
Like
don't
what in the
give a
entire fuck?
I don't
He can't
give
even draw a goddamn gun. Can you
fine,
imagine
I
him
don't
trying to
care.
shoot Greedo?
Fine, I don't care.
Shit,
I mean, I'm curious.
that
I'm
motherfucker be
curious.
dead as hell,
he's as fast as a statue.
deader than a doornail.
But remember, Han Solo is a good 10 years, 15 years older than
Older than Luke, anyway.
Well,
You
that
don't
dude,
have to
that
do as
actor,
much.
that actor doesn't look young.
Who? Solo?
Alden-
The
they're-
Solo dude?
Roland Emmerich. Yeah,
Oh,
I
the
mean,
director,
like
right.
seriously,
It's a lot
that
younger
dude
than-
does not look like some young, super young dude.
He just,
Well, has
it,
that been,
it
like,
wouldn't work. You'd have to do
6
some
years?
CGI with that shit.
Yeah, you
No,
would.
Do
because
the
he was
CGI.
he looked
Do
like
the
he was the same
CGI.
age as Khaleesi. Khaleesi is that actor is not that old. I don't know
Oh,
that you
neither.
could. I like the idea of trying to salvage it, just like I like the idea of maybe finding some way to segue Donald Glover into it. But again, Donald Glover doesn't look nearly as old as Billy D. Williams, who was already
Smooth.
past his movie star prime by the time we got to Return of the Jedi. He wasn't. That wasn't Mahogany.
No, it wasn't.
or
No, it
Lady Sings the Blues, Billy D.
You mean Rise of Skywalker, you mean?
No, I'm saying, but
No,
no, by
no.
the time of
You
Return of the
could've told
Jedi,
Yeah.
he, just like everybody else who was significantly older than they were by the time that they started the franchise, he was already on the outer edge of age
Hey,
of the
he
rest
was
of the
still-
cast members.
Hey, he was still smooth, Playboy.
Oh
was
no,
still
of course he
smooth.
was. Colt 45. No, I'm
Yes.
not disputing that. I'm just saying that now it's what is it? It's 20
7
years,
Well, it takes place like
No.
7 years after Return of the Jedi.
7 years after.
Yeah, at most
Around that
7.
time.
Right.
Look, you could look there. From what we're seeing with the damn CGI that they're doing on Mark Hamill, which is significantly better than it was from the Mandalorian.
No,
CGI.
absolutely.
Like,
I mean, he
yeah.
was
like,
barely,
you
his
could-
lips were barely moving in Mandalorian season
Right.
2.
now
It's
it's
just
like straight up like we fixed it. They got with the dude who did the YouTube video and
The
said,
deep
"Hey
fake,
Disney,
yep.
this is how you do it." They hired that kid on, and now we're getting some of the best, de-aging we've seen.
Oh yeah.
That dude's got a job for life. If you can do some digital mapping onto Donald Glover to give us and you don't have to make him look so much like Billy D, but give us an older looking Donald Glover for Lando, makeup, whatever. Find someone that can, if it's not Emmerich,
Donald
who
Glover
yes, he
doesn't have
stunk it up as
charisma.
Solo. He had none of the chemistry. Then get us,
Somebody.
I wish Harrison
Yeah.
Ford could do it. I wish,
I mean,
but damn.
it's
I like-
charisma,
go ahead.
right? Donald Glover, no shade to him.
Yeah,
He just doesn't have charisma.
he has it, but he doesn't have what Billy D has. It
Well,
just doesn't
he's
have
not.
Billy D.
Billy
Right.
D was legendary for being that dude.
Mm-hmm.
He was, don't let the smooth taste fool you. I mean, it was just, that was his whole thing. And Donald Glover, a lot of us were introduced to Donald Glover through Atlanta, and that character is the antithesis of the super smooth Billy D. Williams character.
Hello, what
it's
have
more
we
than
here?
When we were introduced to Lando, he right, to Ryan's point, he rolls up on Leia like, who is this?
Right.
And kisses her hand, and that made it believable because Leia was like, okay, I like me some dark chocolate. And I didn't know that until I saw Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, Lando was about to get chose. Let's not be confused. Lando was straight up about to be chose. Plus, Leia was trying to throw shade in Han's direction because she was like, So she was playing that game for real.
But I'm saying, like, Donald Glover has never had that type of on-screen charisma.
I mean, the Donald Glover Lando we were introduced to was into robots, so that's already a that's already a foul.
Yeah,
that was a lot.
Bad.
I loved the main the robot who ultimately made the sacrifice, the super sardonic. That was pretty amazing in Rogue. That was Rogue One,
Solo.
right?
That was Solo.
No. I know that there was the robot in Solo. They introduced two great robots in both of these. I liked the Rogue One.
Alan Tudyk.
Alan Tudyk.
Yeah.
I liked the second one in Solo, but Alan Tudyk was really a boss.
Yeah.
He was way too sexually attracted to a robot.
It was a lot. It was a lot for a
But
robot
I find
thing.
all of this fascinating that
Right.
you all are hypothesizing about the possibility of something that has absolutely nothing to do with the main premise of the show. The main premise of
But
the
that's
show
not our fault. That's their
did
fault.
not even say a word in this last episode. I don't even think he said a
No.
in this last episode.
He was never in episode 5. He did not make a single
We're
appearance
all,
in episode 5.
I'm assuming we're all excited about this episode and like these last 2 episodes.
And I
Star
told
Wars,
y'all,
and no Boba Fett.
I told y'all that they were going to continue to keep this, and they're like, nope, we're going to go back to the same old Boba Fett from before.
No,
But I think it's kind of funny that Tawala's like, oh, they're going to do this, they're going to do this, and all of the things that he possibly thought that they could do, they brought it into this one. He got all excited, and yet this is still Boba Fett.
Well,
Like,
it's
this
not though.
is
Someone who
It's
looks like
not Boba Fett.
Yeah.
well, that's
That's
mean,
Boba Fett in
it's-
name only.
when you set it off with the return of the Mandalorian, I'm like, maybe they are saying, all right, we got it, guys. You didn't like Boba Fett. We're going full on with this Mandalorian. We've already told
We're just gonna
uh,
kickstart season 3
on the
now.
next episode, you don't say anything. You just look over at the Mandalorian while he's talking. You know,
Well-
you let him call the shots. I'll go get some people. He didn't even say
This
thank
is
you very
like-
much.
I got
This
friends.
is like This is like Dream Girls when Beyonce thought she was gonna get an Oscar, and she got upstage in her own show.
I mean, I would say, well, I don't
mean,
know.
this
I
is-
mean, the Effie character was always the
This
showstopper
is
in
not
that
the
show.
point.
But
She thought
but
she
this
was
is-
gonna do. She thought
this-
she was the showstopper in the movie, and she.
this
got
is
a-
not this is not Boba Fett. This is Teffa Bob.
Yeah,
Teffa Bob.
definitely Teffa Bob. Definitely. I will say, Anthony.
Okay,
This
Mo
is
is still
actually-
singing, and I'm not going.
Of course it
That's
is.
how engaged she is with Boba Fett that he's taking Effie's big song. Tear out the mountains, yeah, scream and shout. You can do what you want. I'm not walking out. Push off that Sarlacc. I can't kill.
Wait. Raising Dion. They had the last episode, I will say this, is an homage to Dreamgirls.
What?
Yes.
Wait. How did that transition happen? Wait,
You
you
have to watch. I'm not going to give it
Gotta
to you.
watch
because
it.
Oh,
there's
for
an homage
goodness
to
sakes.
Dreamgirls.
All
Okay,
right.
I'll take your word for it.
Okay, can I ask a legit question about another piece of nerdistry here? How is it that Eagly is more of a badass than Boba Fett?
Oh.
And you know what?
Well,
crazy?
Eagly
watched
is a
I watched
fucking
that too many times.
G.
Yeah, I haven't seen.
You haven't seen the latest
Whoa.
episode? You haven't seen?
No, because I watched the damn episode 6 like 4 or 5 times. I couldn't stop
Oh
watching it.
shit!
No, I haven't watched
shit!
it. Wait, it was that good?
Listen, when I put in the log line of the show that Peacemaker takes a dark turn. That shit is dark.
Oh, it is
Really?
That
dark.
shit is
Oh, yes.
dark. There's,
Changed the whole tenor of the show.
I mean, it.
Wait. Okay, so wait, whoa. So you're talking this, but did it go dark like DC dark, like where they just had a darker color palette? And
It went
No.
black.
No,
Darker color palette.
no.
No sun.
This is the.
Right.
It's darker than the inside of your Scully, bro.
Oh,
Thematically.
snap.
It is evil.
It is.
Straight up
And when I
evil.
tell you, the one bright spot was when Eagly legit took down 3 or 4 motherfuckers because Eagly was like, "Caca!" And one of the things that I thought was really cool about it, they really give you a framework of the scale of how big an eagle is. A lot of people don't see eagles close up, and so they see them flying in the sky, and they're like, "Oh, okay, that's a bird." Like, they know it's bigger than a pigeon, but they think maybe like falcon size. Eagly is like a goddamn capybara with wings. This motherfucker is big as hell, and when Eagly is trying to protect Peacemaker, he chose violence, and them talons. Them talons and that beak were nothing to fuck with. Eagly is a G. Oh, yes, you have.
Yes.
You have been waiting.
He finally came through and showed up.
You need to log the fuck off right now and go start watching it.
Go watch and come on back.
That shit is baller. Baller. And when I tell you, you get to see an aspect of the butterflies that we have not seen yet in the show.
Yes.
And it is... Listen, it is on some Wrath of Khan multiplied by 1,000,000 in terms of brutality of it. It's a lot. It's a fucking lot. For real.
Damn,
No.
Aphrodisiac?
No.
Wow.
Look, when I said this in the chat, when I finished watching that episode, I didn't know who to root for after that. I really wasn't sure who was on the side of right.
Really?
And I don't want to. I don't want to say it now because Twala hasn't seen it. I
Right,
know
okay.
who the big bad is, but I
Yes.
don't necessarily know behind the scenes who knows what and who's doing what.
Well, that's true because there's a lot that happens, Twala, and you do need to watch it so that we can stop dancing around it. What I will say is that this episode proved to me that John Cena is his face is the equivalent of a living caricature. His features are so grotesquely misshapen and oversized. There's a lot of rage in him in this episode because there's a lot of confusion. He's kept in the dark. There's a fundamental shift in his relationship with a major character in the show, and he's very, very angry a bunch of times. And every time he is super angry, man, he opens up that mouth and those liverwurst-sized lips start to flapping and that forehead starts to wrinkling. And I'm like, geez Louise, who the fuck is drawing this guy at 30 frames a second? Because it doesn't even look human. He looks like a damn animatronic or some claymation type motherfucker. The head is big, bro. It's a big fucking head.
I don't know if you noticed, but I've noticed that they're coloring he's old enough where he obviously has gray hair. So they're coloring his hair, they're coloring his eyebrows. So he doesn't look natural at any point. And when he's emoting, for lack of a better word, and he's expressing himself in these close facial shots of him going off, it looks almost inhuman. That's the only way I can describe it.
It's weird.
He looked weird in Fast and the Furious when he was in that.
Yes,
film,
he did. Yes,
he looked weird. That's not John Cena. They did something to him.
Well, but also, it was Fast and the Furious. So.
Oh man,
About family.
This is true.
Family.
We in space.
His eye.
act like
nothing matters
men
more
don't
than
get-
family.
You act like men don't get filler and all that other stuff, and I'm sure
I'm just saying
that
it was in this episode where I actually turned the page because I knew his walking gait was unsettling to me, and the really thick veins in his biceps that he's always showing were unsettling to me. And there's a whole thing where he's at school, so Twala, that kind of opens the show.
Yeah.
And boy, that teacher at that school is a prick and a half, or the janitor, whoever the hell that guy is. He's a real fucking dickhead. But it's just like showing the extreme close-ups because they have a couple of scenes that take place in the car, and so it's just him and Vigilante, and so it's very tightly framed. The face is a lot, bro. The face is a lot.
the face is a lot. So this episode,
That's why he's always like,
the face is a lot.
It is.
Yeah, I saw that. I see you, Anthony.
No, you don't. No, you don't see me. No, you don't.
but this whole episode, it is a tremendous turn in the story.
Yes.
Character relationships, a lot more exposition as far as some backstory, some other characters. You learn a lot more. You're brought into the light. That's the only way I can describe it. I don't want to give it away, but Peacemaker is my favorite show right now, and it's not close. Not
Oh
close at
wow.
all.
No, and
Oh,
there
yeah.
there aren't enough episodes. There aren't enough episodes left. There's 2 episodes left, but you could easily. This is everything that you would have hoped in terms of what you thought Boba Fettishness would have been. Oh, Boba Fettishness, haha, that's my coinage. What you would have thought you would have wanted from Boba Fett in a character that, because he was introduced in the Suicide Squad, I didn't expect this show to be what it has become. John Cena is a lot more layered. There's a scene near the end of the episode where he is genuinely, you can see the disappointment that he has because he finally feels that a fundamental relationship has changed, and there's another fundamental relationship with a different character that also changes in more of a positive way, but at the end of the day, they don't know yet the extent of what is coming for them.
Yes.
Wow.
And the episode closes in a very dark place. And, the best thing that can be said is that we do get an understanding of why the Myrn revelation wasn't as dire as we would have thought.
It's interesting from Peacemaker. It seems that once again we are seeing that DC, and by DC I mean the DC Entertainment Universe, what the fuck they're calling now. I think they changed their name. Whatever Homeboy's doing. Whatever.
Lies and betrayal.
Yeah. It seems that once again, we know they have the characters. We know they have stories to boot. They've been around they've been around longer than Marvel. If you give someone who actually is passionate about this, not just a capable director, not just someone who knows shots and frames and stuff like that. If you give a passionate director, someone who's into this, and say, hey man, tell your story, it seems that we can get good content. And I think one of the issues that we're seeing in Hollywood, like when Sony comes out and says we're casting home chick as Madam Web. What's the chick's name?
Dakota Johnson.
Dakota Johnson.
Yeah, as Madam Web. Dakota Johnson. Okay, fine. Maybe if you say Silk, somebody, but if you say Madam Web to me and that's going to be a feature film, I'm like, what are we doing again?
You know what? You know who would have been a credible Madam Web? Meryl Streep. If you want to bring somebody into your damn cinematic universe and you want some royalty and you want somebody who brings dignity to a role that is designed for an older woman, fucking bring Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep could do that shit in her sleep because Madam Web doesn't move, by the way. She sits on a fucking spider-inspired chair and barely moves because she's fucking like paralyzed or something.
Would she do it?
Oh, I don't know if shit, maybe.
Well,
she did Mamma Mia, for fuck's sake.
She was great in Don't Look Up.
Yeah.
Oh, and she was also in that the what was it? The laundry mat, the thing about the who?
Helen Mirren.
Oh, Helen Mirren could do it too.
Helen
Yeah,
Mirren.
I thought Helen Mirren is mad.
No, Helen Mirren could definitely do it. I guess what we're missing in the success of Peacemaker, by virtue of the fact that it's DC property, is that the artistic thrust behind it came from Marvel.
Oh,
It's not a DC project.
Ooh.
It's DC characters, but it's a James Gunn project. And James Gunn's sensibility is what's making the show so great. It's not because, Zack Snyder and dark and serious. It's not dark and serious. Judo Master and that 4 feet tall and that fucking squeaky ass voice, that's not serious. The fat geek dye beard, Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
but they also are recycling the same few characters over and over and over again with barely introducing something new. I mean,
you're
how
talking about the
many
general DCEU.
yeah, the general DCU. Like, I mean, how many times do I need to see anything about Superman? Like, I mean,
Well,
no,
I would say
I'm-
Batman is
I would say
the
Batman,
real
yeah.
question.
Both
How
of
many
them.
times do you need to
Both
see
of them.
Batman?
I don't need to see them, either one of them, just by themselves anymore at all. I don't care. I don't care about Batman's parents anymore. I don't.
Well, but that's certainly true. But the opposite
Callous.
part of the argument is that Iron Man had like 10 appearances in the MCU,
yeah, but you have
and
these
nobody
new
got
things.
tired of Iron Man because Iron Man, the actor and the character and the way that the character was written and directed, engaged you every single time. DC can't get it right. And when you take these iconic characters and you don't treat them with respect, nobody is looking for an end to Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Literally no one is.
but see,
Because
the thing-
everybody's ready for it. It's not that Superman's a bad character. It's not that Batman's a bad character. It's that you haven't invested in making the characters what audiences would love for
There's
them
no
to
emotional
be.
attachment.
No
there.
There
depth.
isn't,
No
because
depth
it's just
to
some
it.
bullshit.
Exactly.
They keep remaking another form of the origin story, and it's like, why? Do I
They keep
care
rebooting
about?
because they keep messing up. Exactly.
Maybe
I
they're
don't
trying to hit it until they get it right. You know,
Look,
keep
this
hit
is,
it.
this is the problem. They
hit it
keep
till
on
you quit or
going, well,
something.
you know who Superman is, you know who Batman is, so we're not going to give you a reason to like them. You should just like them already because of who they are by name only. No, you got to give me a reason to like the character. Get me emotionally invested, and they don't do
Move
that.
the story along. Like, I mean, and Tom Holland's Spider-Man is a good example. We didn't need another version of the uncle, and they didn't give it to us in this last
That's true.
iteration
That's
of
true.
the three. But
And
Well, they
never
somehow-
did give it.
out
They
of
did
power.
give it to
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, you got it in Aunt May.
towards the end. I mean, that's a reinvention. I mean, showing every time we've seen something with Batman, it's a different angle on the pearls. And that's why it's like, and that's what I'm saying. Like that is
Technically
bad,
the pearl necklace, just so we're
Yeah.
clear.
Okay.
even in the Joker still has
Yeah.
and it's
They're
like,
still-
you know
yeah.
what, I
Which
don't.
why are they doing the Joker too? I don't know.
Oh
I
my
don't know.
God!
But it's
Well,
supposed to
you
start
know
2
why?
weeks
You
ago.
know why? Because it made
Yeah, I
$1
know why.
billion.
Yes.
But it. Can you imagine Kevin Feige having so many missteps that they had to reboot 6 different aspects of what was supposed to be a universe?
It wouldn't have happened. The
It wouldn't have
universe would never
happened.
No, no.
It
They
just- it
literally
wouldn't have
based
held together.
everything on Iron Man. If Iron Man wasn't a success, that would have been it.
Yeah.
That
And
would have
Iron
been
Man
it
wasn't
for them.
even that. Iron Man, let's be clear. Iron Man was a critical success, but it wasn't even a barnstorming box office
Wasn't
success.
that great? Yeah.
It did okay,
Yeah.
and then Incredible Hulk did worse, but by the time you got, everybody loved RDJ so much, by the time you got to Iron Man 2, which was actually a significantly lesser film than the original, it was good because you were like, I'm in. I'm absolutely in. And so what Feige understood is that let me just try to do my thing. The Incredible Hulk maybe is not gonna exactly work, but they recast that
The Hulk
themselves
is
out of that
boring.
problem.
The Hulk is boring. Like, I mean, the Hulk's origin story is just dull.
Well,
No,
yeah, I
no,
don't think we needed the
as
origin
it's been
story
told,
again.
But he is a great character.
Oh no, he's a great character. I just don't think we needed the Bill Bixby version of the origin story to kick off the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah,
I
we
think
don't
we
need
needed-
to see
Aspects
him
of his
with
origin
the-
story that are very dark, but they
Yeah,
didn't
we don't
really
need
go
the
into
gamma radiation overdose.
No, we
anymore.
don't.
There's a
And
We
great-
should have just rolled into it.
There's a dark, very dark origin story about him and his father that they don't really go into in the MCU, and that shit is dark if you read the comic.
Well,
He
but they
fucking
did it.
hates this-
They did it in
Hulk.
the Ang Lee thing.
That's Hulk. Mm-hmm.
No, I know it wasn't in the MCU, but I'm saying
Yeah.
because Hulk underperformed, they weren't going to try to go down that. I mean, the fucking Gamma Poodle, Jesus Christ, that was just not the way to go.
Nolte, oh my gosh, I don't.
Yeah,
think he tried to remember any of his lines. I thought he was just improvising the whole way.
Yeah, he was
Was.
barely out of rehab every take. So I mean, I look, we all know that the DCEU is trash. At the end of the Peacemaker episode, I actually did watch the promo for Titans, and at least Starfire looked more credible. It was the first time I'd seen Starfire actually looking sort of Starfire-ish, and they
Was
had.
she hot?
Tom, do not,
Was
do
she
not
on
watch
fire?
that show.
Don't go down that road.
Oh, I'm not going to watch the show. I just said I watched the promo, and
Oh, yeah.
it was cool to see Wonder Girl shaking a lasso. It was cool to see Raven. It was cool to see Red Hood.
First season is fine.
It's not
After
not
that,
good when you watch the season. It may be good in the promo, but when you see how it actually happens, you go, "Oh, this is the opposite of good."
There's
Yeah,
not
no,
one
go
there.
episode of Titans where I go, wow, that's a really good episode. Not
That
one.
episode's hot.
No, I like the first
Listen.
season.
I'm not
No,
on
first season I
HBO
liked
Max. I'm on HBO Max for Peacemaker, and this final episode of And Just Like That, and I watched The Nevers, and I'm watching Raised by Wolves. So
Raised by Wolves just started, so we have.
yeah, it
2
did just start.
episodes.
You got 2 episodes. It dropped 2 episodes. So if you are a Raised by Wolves fan, and you aren't put off by Mother, who has a really flat affect,
She does.
they jump you right into the middle of this new story too. So there's no time wasted in Raised by Wolves. If
I
you're
didn't
in
watch the
for
first
that,
season. Was it actually good?
I enjoyed it. The last episode was weird as hell. But I watched in before watching this new season. I watched kind of an explainer, and they said that there are 2 themes. The Raised by Wolves is a direct allusion to Romulus and Remus, who were raised by wolves, and Romulus founded Rome and killed Remus. So it's like a Cain and Abel thing. And so that also bridges into the biblical sides of mother and father being kind of like Adam and Eve, and then being.
I would have thought
So-
that this was more aligned to Ayn Rand Anthem. You know, it's a struggle for me. I don't dislike it. I don't love it. And I'm not sitting out here to even. I'm not even a person who recommends it, because really, the premise is just about atheism versus, atheism / science versus religion. I mean, and that's the end of the premise.
Well, I mean, it has some very overt themes, just even to the extent that at the end of the first season, there's a snake, and they end up in Eden. I mean, it draws some very broad strokes, but I will say, up until the part where it became painfully clear that where Ridley Scott was trying to make an overtly religious allegory, not just dealing with religious themes, but actually making an allegory theme about the whole story, it was a lot easier to enjoy. I liked the necromancer stuff. I liked some of the underlying mythology, but it definitely took a turn in the last couple of episodes. We do have a defender of Dakota Johnson, though.
I can see you not getting into it.
Right. Barack Giles says that Dakota Johnson can actually act with an okay script. I liked her in Peanut Butter Falcon, but it is not possible to turn her into a 90-year-old woman who's a psychic spider adjacent person. Yeah, she's like Agatha Harkness kind of. I think.
Old. And she's
old.
The multiverse too.
And it doesn't work in that direction. When you try to make a young person old, like a Guy Pearce, and they did in Prometheus, it just doesn't work usually.
Okay, no.
But it's also there's plenty of older actors though. Just put an older. It's just like Renee Zellweger in the thing about Pam that they're doing. And they put Renee Zellweger in a fat suit. Renee probably weighs 90 fucking pounds. Get an actor of size to play the role, for fuck's sake.
This is us. They do age the mother. They do age the mother on This Is Us on NBC. So and it doesn't.
Well, but that's because the whole thing is about changes of time. I mean, that's.
I get that, but I'm saying that it's possible. I'm not saying that it's. I'm not arguing that we should keep Dakota, but I'm just saying that it can work to age someone, but she's not aged to 90. She's aged
no one that is into anything Spider-Man, even adjacent, is gonna run and go and see a film because you put Dakota Johnson in it. It's not going to be a draw. Now that this character is not a draw for anyone who's ever read a Spider-Man comic. There are no Madam Web solo series that are just burning up the comic shop shelves. I'm sorry. She was a side character that came in to throw Spider-Man off of his game and tell him some shit he didn't understand and he'd have to figure it out. And by the time you get to the end of that arc, you're like, so why did you bring her in again?
I could see if Madam Web and the Spider-Verse and all of that, if you introduce her like as a gateway to Morlun or something like that, and you kind of try to create a bridge. But again, Dakota Johnson is like a sexy Madam Web Halloween costume. You don't put her in that. It's not going to be credible. You're just completely changing the character. And it's just like Morbius. Nobody actually asked for a Morbius film, Sony.
Nope.
No.
Let's be clear.
No.
Ain't nobody asked for that shit. And, I would have said, why don't you trot out Scarlet Spider? Or why don't you trot out Bane? Maybe there's too many Banes. I don't know. But there are definitely characters, Carrion. There's people that had intriguing stories that were Peter adjacent. But if you wanted to get your own Spider-Man that wasn't a Spider-Man, Ben Reilly. There's so many things you could have done.
Miles Morales.
Miles Morales. Well, I mean, they did Miles Morales, albeit animated, but Well, I mean, and again, a lot of the multiverse stuff they've shoved into the animated side, but we're obviously now that they've dipped their venomous toe into the multiverse on the real show, they may yet do it, but it's Sony is being lazy in the way that DC was being lazy. They saw that Marvel could be successful, and they said, we're just going to trot out any character we want to pull out, and they're going to be magical. But the problem is that unless you do it with care, you're not going to get that result. And you're shoehorned into the spiders because that's the only thing you have, but you couldn't have Spider-Man on your own. And so then you went to Venom, but Venom without Spider-Man is not Venom. And Carnage without Venom, without Spider-Man, isn't Carnage. And you didn't even give him a real chance to even be Carnage, really. Because by the time we meet him, he's already killed his people. He killed a lot of guards and shit. But
6 lines almost, pretty much in the movie. I was like, oh, Jesus.
But see, that was the problem.
He's killed unceremoniously. So.
But see, that was the problem with the Sony iteration of the Spider-Man universe. They were wasting these characters. They ran through Venom the first time around. They ran through, I guess, was that supposed to be Hobgoblin?
Yeah.
In Spider-Man 3?
Yep.
So, I mean, they wasted them. James Franco.
Harry Franco when he
turned you're talking about you're talking about the original. I'm sorry. When you
So they don't understand. To your point, Tom, they don't want to put in the time. Just like the DCEU wanted to rush and start out with Justice League, and no one had any real origin movie, so it didn't matter when they came together. And Sony is trying to just throw these characters up on screen, and no one really cares if and when they ever get together. I don't care if Venom gets together with Peter Parker eventually. I don't give a shit.
Well, because Peter Parker's story has already moved beyond that.
Morbius. Yeah. Who's going to care?
Because, again, do you care if there's if there is Spider-Man's equivalent of being Ben? Is Spider-Man, I mean, we're pointing in the direction of Spider-Man working for J. Jonah Jameson. Obviously, it's not going to be a newspaper, but, he's abandoning his old friends because they don't remember him anymore and he's protecting them. So you've kind of pressed a hard reset on his relationship with the characters that we've come to enjoy him interacting with. And so now it does seem like you're going to segue into the rebuilt relationship with J. Jonah Jameson and that kind of back and forth of, I hate Spider-Man, but da-da-da-da-da. So that's coming.
I love Peter. Yeah.
Right. And so it's too late, I think, to insert Venom into that dynamic because I don't think anybody wants to see. I don't even know how that blob gets from the South Pacific to New York.
It's going to happen.
It eventually will, but I don't understand, and I guess that piece of the Venom blob has the mindset that he wants to find Peter. I guess.
I
so you just hop on a New York tourist.
I'm going to be thoroughly disappointed. I'm going to be thoroughly disappointed though if Ned is done. Like, I mean,
you're that down, Ned.
Yeah, that's what's going to do it for you.
That's
what's going to do it.
Like that.
Yeah, Ned's an MIT girl. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
he in Boston
with Flash.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, I'm
Man.
glad. I am so glad to see this version of Flash. I did not ever
You
respond
know,
to
at
him.
least he didn't have a big role.
Yes,
in the-
exactly.
That's true.
That's
Yeah.
the best part
It was
about
just
it.
comedic relief.
Yeah.
Right. I would
If
have
it would've-
rather
if it
seen
would've been
Boba
the other
Fett
one-
as Flash Thompson.
Oh, Lord. Shit. All right, y'all. Look, that literally because I didn't get to see anything because it's been a hell of a week. Y'all don't even know. I'm glad that I was treated to, back to back episodes of The Mandalorian episode 6. I'm just gonna call it
Ah!
Yes.
of Boba Fett. I'm excited to watch Peacemaker. I'm mad that I didn't get to see it. And I'm definitely all in for Ozark. I will have a nice report for
Oh,
Ozark
Please.
next week because y'all have started. You've
You
got
ain't gonna
me
get no sleep.
hooked, and I thought I was off the bottle. Now I'm back on. I'm finna take it down like
That
Ripper.
heroin.
It's gonna be a problem. Anything else we're missing out there? What you saying, Anthony?
Oh, I'm watching Pam and Tommy.
Oh God.
Oh yes, I want to
yeah.
see that.
I saw
Oh,
Pam
yeah.
and Tommy about 25 years ago.
Yeah.
I had to
Yeah, the
tape.
original.
Yeah, I already
Original.
saw it.
You
Yeah.
got the VHS.
Yeah.
Yo, T,
Yeah.
just don't let your kid watch it.
VHS tape, baby.
Nope.
That actress
Don't let-
looks so
there
much
is like
like
a-
Pam.
There is a
Yeah, she
2-minute
really does.
discussion between Tommy and basically his penis. And
Yeah.
that's
I
a full-on
heard.
discussion. It is
I
fucking
heard.
hilarious.
Look, I saw the tape. Don't know if
Oh,
I need
yeah.
to see
We all
why
saw
what
it, at
led
least
up
most
to
of
the
us.
tape. Yes. I might even still own the VHS in my garage.
Okay.
Liz,
Way
what
too
are you
much.
saying?
Yeah.
I know.
Well, I just came back from Moonfall.
The what now?
Moonfall.
The Roland Emmerich.
Oh, the Halle movie.
Yeah.
Yes, the Halle Berry movie.
Okay.
I want to support Halle Berry in all of the horrible movie. And at least I didn't have to pay for it.
Was it horrible?
Pay less. Oh, it took it to a new low.
Oh, it was a paycheck
It's like
movie.
how low can it go? Way down low.
She must owe
Okay, but
somebody.
Liz, did she see Tyrese and Ludacris in outer space while she was on her way to the?
We in space.
No, but we did have selfies. And I was like, and I mean, well,
I
I mean,
won't
they
be
do
seeing that.
explain why the moon has this void inside, and I said, wow, why do we have to
Hollow
go through
Earth,
this?
Hollow Moon.
Yeah, no. Can we stop talking about Moonfall, please? I cannot. I don't. My brain is hurting. I just got chiropractic adjustment this week, and so my back is sore because my very strong female therapist hurt me in ways that are unspeakable and dire, and so
Get a happy ending.
yeah, exactly. But I have to go again for Saturday. My back and my neck have been really jacked up.
back.
My neck and my back. Yeah,
Anywho.
it's been a long time coming, so I'm sticking with it for like 2 months. Okay.
Ooh,
Okay.
I
With
heard you.
my-
I heard you,
with
Tom.
my-
It's been a long time in the offing.
But I will say that with my
Okay.
A-list, I was able to see the movie with myself. So there was no one in the movie theater.
Well, there you
with
go.
me.
Yeah, that
On
should tell you all you
opening
need to
day.
know.
Exactly.
Okay, look, more power to you. Look, okay, so I can't sit anymore. I'm still dealing with this issue, and I'm in a lot of pain. So, Anthony, my brother, please, God Almighty, take us out, good sir.
Good news, everybody.
McBain.
Hey, Ryan Johnson, that's how you write Luke Skywalker, you fucking asshole.
Nice, Dr. Liz.
Stay awake, my brothers and sisters. Stay awake.
Okay, Cunningham.
Where is my eagly suit?
Yeah, Bo Kelly.
I have spoken.
Yes, Excelsior. Oh, the pain.